The sunset over the city's financial district turned the glass towers into pillars of fire, reflecting off the custom-red Ferrari 458 idling at the curb. Cassius, a man of quiet but immense influence, sat behind the wheel. He was dressed in a deep navy silk suit with a gold silk pocket square and a gold luxury watch. He was simply waiting for a light to change when the siren screamed behind him. Vance, an officer fueled by deep-seated resentment, pulled his cruiser diagonally across the Ferrari's path. Under his uniform, a visual signal of his aggressive, self-appointed king-of-the-road ego. Beside him was Sloan, wearing a bold red-trimmed tactical vest, already stepping out with a sneer. Vance approached the driver's side, his face already contorted into a realistic, unmasked expression of aggressive rage. He didn't see a citizen. He saw a target that didn't belong in such a machine. His nostrils flared, and a pulsing vein began to throb at his neck as he glared at Cassius. "Out of the car. I know this thing is stolen. People like you don't drive $250,000 cars in this zip code." Vance roared. "This vehicle is a registered federal asset, officer. I suggest you lower your voice and step back." Cassius replied, his voice a calm, lethal royal blue frequency. He stepped back defensively as he exited the vehicle, but Vance didn't give him an inch. When Cassius reached into his inner pocket for his credentials, Vance's aggression turned physical and destructive. He lunged forward and delivered a heavy-handed, aggressive shove to Cassius's shoulder, slamming him back against the driver's side door. "I said don't reach." Vance snarled, his face contorted with anatomical micro-expressions of fury, his brow furrowed into deep ridges and his skin turning an uneven, mottled red. To prove his dominance, Vance drew his heavy-duty baton and violently smashed the glass of the Ferrari's driver's side window, shards of glass spraying over Cassius's suit. He then swung the baton again, denting the carbon fiber hood of the Ferrari with a sickening crunch. He grabbed Cassius by the lapel of his deep navy silk suit and pinned him against the ruined door, while Sloan moved in, grabbing Cassius's other arm and twisting it behind his back. The witnesses, Sterling and Maya, stood on the sidewalk near a white marble building, their phones raised to capture the raw, unmasked fury on Vance's face as he physically manhandled the man and destroyed the luxury car. Cassius looked at the shattered glass on his sleeve, his eyes turning into shards of ice. "Vance," he whispered, "you just smashed a monitored federal asset, and you're about to find out how expensive that mistake really is." The silence of the financial district was broken only by the ticking of the cooling red Ferrari engine and the crunch of glass under Vance's boots. He maintained his physical pin, his hand white-knuckled as it gripped the deep navy silk lapel of Cassius's suit, shoving him deeper into the jagged frame of the smashed window. Vance's unmasked face was a portrait of raw, unchecked aggressive rage. His nostrils flared with every jagged breath, and the veins in his neck pulsed visibly as he basked in the destruction he had just wrought. Sloan continued to apply pressure to Cassius's arm, her bold red-trimmed vest heaving with the adrenaline of the assault. "You're a nobody, speed racer," Vance hissed, his face contorted with anatomical micro-expressions of fury as he leaned closer. "I'm going to impound this car and watch the state crush it into a cube while you rot in a cell for resisting." Cassius slowly reached into the reinforced inner pocket of his deep navy silk suit. He didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out a heavy, gold-plated FBI credential case. With a sharp flick of his wrist, he opened it. The gold shield and the high-clearance truth revealed credentials blazed under the streetlights, reflecting directly into Vance's widening, bloodshot eyes. "Special Agent Cassius Thorne, FBI Internal Affairs and Counterintelligence," he announced, his voice a low, vibrating royal blue frequency. "And this car is a mobile surveillance hub for an ongoing investigation into precinct corruption. The very corruption you just confirmed on high-definition federal cameras." The shift in power was instantaneous and devastating. The air was suddenly filled with the synchronized roar of high-performance engines as 6 blacked-out Deep Navy tactical SUVs and 2 Silver Command vehicles swarmed the intersection, jumping the curves to form a perfect tactical perimeter. Dozens of agents in Navy tactical gear with yellow FBI lettering blaring across their chests moved with lethal silent precision that made the local officers look like amateurs. Suddenly, the massive digital news tickers on the surrounding skyscrapers, the screens the entire city used to track the stock market, flickered and died. A second later, They roared back to life with a live feed. It was a bold, extreme close-up video of the last 5 minutes, captured by the Ferrari's internal security array. The entire city watched in horror as Vance's unmasked, snarling face contorted while he violently smashed the baton into Ferrari and shoved a federal agent. Vance's face turned a sickly, translucent white. The mottled red patches on his skin faded as he realized his career wasn't just over. It was being liquidated in front of the entire metropolitan area. The commissioner of police arrived on the scene, his face a mask of absolute shame. He looked at Vance's scarlet silk tie and bold red vest with pure, unadulterated disgust. Behind him, the witnesses, Sterling in his gold silk blazer and Maya in her silver designer gown, stepped forward, their phones broadcasting the final moments of the officer's authority. "Vance and Sloan," the commissioner said, his voice echoing to the canyon of buildings. "You didn't just break a window. You broke the trust of the city. You are hereby stripped of your rank, your pension, and your immunity. The justice debt you owe the federal government will be paid in years, not months." Cassius straightened his deep navy silk suit, brushing a shard of glass from his gold luxury watch. He stepped into Vance's personal space. "You told me I didn't belong in this machine, Vance. You were right. I belong in the agency that's about to dismantle your life." Vance, in a state of aggressive panic, tried to reach for his service weapon. He was instantly intercepted. 2 FBI agents firmly grabbed Vance by his arms, twisting him behind his back in a brutal, bone-deep lock. They forced him to his knees in the middle of the glass shards. Sloan was grabbed by her bold red trim gear and slammed face first against the dented red hood of the Ferrari. "Liquidate their status," Cassius commanded. The agents tore the badge from Vance's chest and the scarlet tie from his neck, letting them fall into a green trash bin near the curb. They physically dragged Vance and Sloan to the financial district, their boots scraping the asphalt as the crowd of city workers jeered and filmed the disgrace. They were dragged toward the deep Navy transport vans to be taken to a federal black site. In a final act of humiliation, Cassius watched as Vance's patrol car was hooked to a tow truck and hauled away. Cassius looked at the ruined Ferrari, then adjusted his gold luxury watch. "The car can be replaced," he said to the commissioner. "But the corruption you allowed ends today." The power was destroyed. The truth was revealed, and the villain was liquidated.